Well, I've been using this pneumatic nail gun that my dad loaned me, and it stopped working. I mean, it would start missing every so often, and it missed more and more, and now it's just not hitting a nail out at all ever. And my guess is the hammer is no longer retracting because there's the hammer right in the very front there. And I can force it back if I put enough pressure on it, but there's something going on down in here, I'm guessing, because I can even hear something in there. So we're going to take this apart and see if we can fix it. I went ahead and removed the 4 bolts on this front piece, as well as the piece that holds on the rail here. That way I can pull this whole thing off. And I've removed the 4 bolts on the back. So now it's time to see what is inside this thing. There's the hammer that won't pull back. Okay, nothing much going on with that. That just holds the nails. Let's see what we got here. I don't really know how these things operate, so this is new to me. I'm not sure what this is, but it's got some sort of a disc here with a spring. Oh, there's the last bolt. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting. So we got 2 O-rings here, some sort of a channel, and this is like some sort of plastic material right here. Let's see, there's a spring on the inside going to this. Okay, I'm seeing some bits of something coming out here. Let me see if I can find something dark to put those on. But it's almost like little bits of plastic. I don't know, let's see here. Little tiny bits of plastic are coming out of this thing. So I better find out what's up with that. Oh, I see one thing that isn't good. This has a crack on it. Well, I'm starting to think that maybe there was some piece of this that shattered on the inside here. It looks a little uneven around the inside, like it would have shattered. But as far as I can tell with this, the hammer just looks like it's a plunger that goes in there. So, yeah, simple. That looks like maybe the front that the hammer would go through because it has the same shape. Yep. Okay, I'm going to take this apart. I've already compressed this plastic piece with the spring, and I found there was just an O-ring on the inside that holds it in. So let's see what we got when we release the pressure here. Well, we're going to have to get the rest of the O-ring out. There we go. Set that aside. And now, will this come out of here? There it is. Okay, and as I can see, let me turn my light on here. This is supposed to be a barrel coming out, and it is just completely shattered, and that's where all these bits of plastic came from. And it's also cracked down the side. It would appear that there's some sort of a ring around there as well. Let's set that aside. So I need a new one of these. I received the new part in the mail today, and here's the difference between them. You can see this one has a nice big cylinder in the center, and this one, of course, is completely busted. So, set that one aside. I've already cleaned everything up here, so now it's time to start putting it back together, if I can remember exactly how it went together. I do recall this metal band went around here. Okay, I know the spring went in there, and then this whole conglomeration went down into here. But it was kind of a tight fit. And this bigger O-ring goes on the inside to hold it in. So let's pressure this down in there, if I can get it. I think the spring might be goofing things up. There we go. Okay, so now let's make sure the spring is good. Now I just have to get this O-ring down in there. Okay, let's just push that down and out of the way. And we need to feed in this O-ring into that groove that's right underneath the lip. There, I think we've got it. Yep, okay, now let's let this loose. Okay, let's wipe that off a little bit. There we go. And now, yes, I believe that goes down. There we go. Okay, that's moving nicely. Okay, now let's start putting together the top. Let's see, I don't believe I need any oil on that. Let's see here. This goes down there. Okay, so now what goes on the front is that. Let's make sure. Yep, it looks like this is a nice little square pocket. So it isn't going to be the tapered side of that metal piece. It's going to definitely be this side. So let's go ahead and do this. We will go ahead and mate these two sides together. And I'm going to have to do some fidgeting to get those together. Let's set this out of the way for now. And this is going to be the hard part, because I got to line up this little trigger deal and try and get the rest of it to line up at the same time. Okay, trigger isn't an issue. And there, I think I got it if I can just hold it there long enough to get one of the bolts started. Okay, starting to get tight. Next step is to attach this guy here. So, let's see, I need a pair of needle nose to hold this nut on the bottom while I tighten up the top. Now, it's time to put the back on. So, everything is whole and undamaged. This piece moves, which is what it's supposed to do. And that piece is all the way forward like it should be. So, let's see here. Oh boy, I'm going to have to put some pressure on that, ain't I? If I can just get this side started, then get the other side started, that will be nice. And I may have to throw a clamp on this because it is spring loaded, but we'll see. If I can just get this one started, I won't have to put a clamp on it. Okay, I got it started. That side pulling a little bit. Now, let's get the last one in before we tighten anything down to any extreme. Ugh. Okay. Okay, so now we are back together. Let's go ahead and give this thing a test run, but first, we want to put some oil down inside it. And since I wiped all the oil out, I'm giving it a little extra. Okay, so now I think it's time for a test run. Okay, we are recording. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see, where's the nails? There they are. The smaller nails were having more problems than the bigger ones, so we'll test with those. Okay, I don't hear any air leaks, so that's good. Let's go ahead and load this up. Okay, now we're going to test this. Yep, you might need ear protection, buddy. Oh, perfect. Perfect. After some thorough testing, I discovered that you can't do the trick where you hold the trigger and just pound it in. It doesn't draw back the hammer quite right. But if you just do single shots, it works rather well. So all of these have nails in them except for these three, which is where I was trying to bang it in there. So I would say this is a success, even though you can't just pound, pound, pound. So this thing is ready to move on and do some more nailing.